I'm Chef Jim Nicholas, Wildwood Sports Bar and Grill, and today we're going to be making a sage stuffing, and then we're also going to be making a boneless turkey. We're going to take the boneless turkey, we're going to take the sage dressing, we're going to roll them up together, we're going to net them in a butcher's netting, we're going to roast them on the grill. To start off our sage dressing, we're going to use a few basic ingredients. One ingredient is going to be, we're going to use mirepoix, which is carrots, celery, and onions. We're going to have those chopped up. We're going to saute those. We're going to add a little bit of milk. We're going to add fresh sage. We've got eggs, salt and pepper, and then we have some sourdough breadcrumbs. Any type of breadcrumb will work. If you want to use wheat, you want to use rye, it will change the flavor of it though. We'll start by adding a little bit of butter to our saute pan. Once the butter gets nice and hot, we'll reduce our heat down. We'll add our mirepoix, which is our carrots, celery, and onions. We've got those over a medium heat. We're going to saute those until until the carrots get tender. And when you start to see the onions turn clear, that's when you know that you've gotten to that point. Okay, once they're about halfway done, we're going to add our salt. We're going to add a little bit of granulated garlic. We're going to stir. We're going to let those keep cooking down. This whole process is going to take about 10 minutes. We'll start by adding a little bit of butter to our saute pan. Once the butter gets nice and hot, we'll reduce our heat down. We'll add our mirepoix, which is our carrots, celery, and onions. We've got those over a medium heat. We're going to saute those until until the carrots get tender. And when you start to see the onions turn clear, that's when you know that you've gotten to that point. Okay, once they're about halfway done, we're going to add our salt. We're going to add a little bit of granulated garlic. We're going to stir. We're going to let those keep cooking down. This whole process is going to take about 10 minutes. While our vegetables are sauteing, we're going to go ahead and get started with the bowl. While our vegetables are sauteing, we're going to go ahead and get started with the bowl. We're going to crack 1, 2, 3, 4 eggs. You can use a whisk, you can use a fork, and all we're going to do is we're going to whip these into just a little bit of a froth. Make sure all the yolks and the whites are incorporated. Kind of like you're going to make scrambled eggs. To that we'll add our milk. We're going to give it another little bit of stir. It's kind of going to look like a little bit of a custard filling. We're going to set that aside for the moment. What it is, we're going to take our fresh basil. We're going to take all the leaves, we're going to break them off right at the stem. We're going to use about 12 leaves total. We're going to lay them down flat, we're going to stack them up. We're going to go through and we're going to cut them in nice thin strips. And as you cut them, you're going to get a very strong smell of sage, which is very good because that's what you want. You don't want to use any of the fresh herbs that are brown, gray. You want them to have a nice, healthy green color. You can see that. Sage is usually a duller green than most of the herbs that you'll find. We're going to add that to our egg mixture. So now it kind of looks like we're making an omelet with some ingredients in there. We're going to set this aside. We're going to take our breadcrumbs. So we've got about a 1 loaf of sourdough breadcrumbs. We're going to add those in. This is one of those things that I think is better if you use your hands to mix. You can definitely use a spoon if you don't want to get your hands dirty. I just put a rubber glove on. We'll stir. And it's going to be a little bit dry. And that's okay. Because when we get to the next point, we're going to add about 2 cups of turkey stock. And you can use the turkey stock that we're going to make from when we debone the turkey and we make our gravy. Or you can buy a product, turkey cooking stock, at the store. So we're going to add our 2 cups of that. We're going to stir it in. And what we want is that gravy, that sauce, the egg and the turkey stock and the cream all to get mixed in so it looks like a nice mess of wet bread. And it should have a real nice sage smell to it. You can see our carrots, our celery, and onions have cooked now. You can see the onions are starting to get kind of clear. They're turning into an opaque color. We're going to go ahead and add those to the top of our bread mixture. And we're going to stir that all in. And oh, is that smelling like good old-fashioned sage dressing now? So this sage dressing is starting to get a little bit of pudding-like consistency to it, nice and thin. The breadcrumbs are starting to break up a little bit, so we want to be very gentle when we turn it the rest of the way so we have the good chunks of bread that stay there, and that's what will soak up the rest of those juices as we want. Final thing that we're going to do, we're going to season it with a little bit more salt. Okay, so here we have our 20-pound tom turkey that came frozen. We put it in the cooler for about 3 days to thaw it out. It's sitting there. We've taken it off the plastic, out of the plastic package, and this is what we have. Took a towel, kind of dried the outside of the bird, get any excess moisture off of it. And then make sure you throw that towel away when you're done, because that's going to be a contaminated towel. The turkey, sometimes they'll come with a piece of plastic that's wrapped around the back end, and you can cut that off before you start, before you get into it. This one did not come with that, but it did, however, come with the gizzards, the livers, wrapped up in the package there. We'll set those aside. We'll use those for something later. And then it came with the neck bones. Right here, you can go in and we're just going to cut this tail piece off. You can see that. That's the piece that just kind of hangs off the back of the turkey. The next thing that we can take out is this thing. That's the pop up when it's done. We don't need that. So we're going to take the turkey, we'll turn it over so it's sitting breast down, and we're going to stretch out the wings so we can go in and we're going to remove the wing. So there's a joint that is where the wing connects to the into the shoulder, if you will. We're going to cut right through that. Basically, we're going to go a big circle all the way around the joint, and then we're going to put our knives through there. We're going to pull and cut out. We're going to remove our jumbo chicken wing, turkey wing. We're going to turn it around. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to go right in through the corner of the skin. We're going to cut all the way around to the ball. We'll turn it just a little bit. We have a full circle all the way around the bone. And then we'll turn that. The joint will pop right out. And then we have another jumbo chicken wing. So now we have a turkey with 2 legs, no arms. We're going to take our knife. We're going to go right down the back of the bird. And you can kind of feel there's like a ridge bone that goes all the way down. Sometimes the fatty pieces will need a little bit more coaxing than the rest of them. But as you go through, you're following the bone line of the bird until you get to a point where you can peel it all the way down. When you get to that point, you can't go any further. start on the other side.